Guys, I'm really happy to welcome to the podcast Liz Collin. She's producer of the film. We're going to talk about the Fall of Minneapolis. She's a multi-Emmy Award-winning reporter, a news anchor. She's also a media producer. She wrote the Amazon bestseller, They're Lying, The Media, the Left, and the Death of George Floyd, and of course the documentary, The Fall of Minneapolis. Liz, congrats on making this groundbreaking documentary. It seems like it is transforming or recasting the whole way that we see George Floyd, BLM, and what in retrospect appears to have been almost a kind of show trial in Minneapolis. Now, is that overstating what happened to Derek Chauvin?
Well, Dinesh, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Truly is an honor to be able to speak to you and for your kind words about the documentary. But absolutely, I think you're right. Just to back up a bit here, I was in mainstream media for nearly 20 years in total, but I left due to all of these lies, especially when it came to this case. I'd never seen before how the press was so privy to all of this information and just refused to pass it on to the public. So much so that I left for independent media to put some of this all together and put it out there. But absolutely, it seemed that the script was written here from the very start.
Talk about that. Let's go into the newsroom a little bit in terms of your own experience. So what you're saying is that these are not new facts that have come out subsequently. Even at the time, you were aware that there was a different narrative than the one that was being put out. So describe the process of, how does it happen in the newsroom? Do you say, well, hey, I found this out, and the producer goes, oh, no, we can't talk about that? How does that actually work?
Yeah, it seemed day in, day out on this, which is why I actually called the book "They're Lying," because I kept shouting that I felt like for months on end here. But this is the very first time that the Minneapolis Police Department withholds the body camera footage in a critical incident from the public, and the press seemed to just sort of go along with that. Well, one would say now, after you actually see the body camera footage, this 18-minute interaction with George Floyd, which is why we start the film just with that exactly. What actually that shows. You also have the police chief the very next day after all of this, and the mayor of Minneapolis saying this is not a part of training. They have no idea what these officers are doing out there at 38th and Chicago on May 25th of 2020. But if you listen to the body camera footage, they're clearly discussing this MRT. But also we discover that 2 pages of the training manual are just mysteriously gone the very next day after this incident. And this is something that I tried to pass along to say, they're lying. We need to press back on this because why are these 2 pages gone from the manual? But again and again, it seemed that the media cared more about this narrative than actually the facts of this case.
Let's back up to the very beginning, because all of this, of course, started with a video, and the video then went viral on social media. And I remember seeing the video myself. I probably didn't see all of it, but I saw some of it. The video originally did look incriminating. By that I meant it kind of infuriated me, and I wasn't alone. And so a lot of us reacting only to the video or what we saw essentially said, this is horrible. It looks like this guy is putting his knee on this poor guy's neck, and regardless of whether this guy needs to be apprehended or what he did, surely there's another way to sort of keep him under control. But what you're saying is that the video perhaps is not giving the full picture, a full picture that can only be obtained by looking at the body cam footage and listening to the surrounding conversation around that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody denies by looking at this viral Facebook video how troubling it certainly seemed. Obviously, nobody denies that at all. But many people didn't even know other officers were even on the scene. You have 2 other officers, 2 rookie officers in Thomas Lane and Alex King, who are also on top of George Floyd, who is unruly and also refused to comply for nearly 15 15 minutes. You have George Floyd talking about how he can't breathe long before Derek Chauvin even arrives on scene. You have George Floyd being pulled out of a cramped vehicle, but then yet he says he's claustrophobic and he can't go in the back of a squad car. Police are asking it again and again, what are you on? What did you take? Because they recognize, something is not right with him. And he says nothing, did not take anything. You can clearly see things on his tongue, as he gets out of his car to be arrested. And let's also not forget that he's arrested by a black officer in Alex King. But yet we're told this is the most racist interaction with police in U.S. history. But these are all things that the body camera video clearly shows. And I also think most importantly, you have George Floyd asking himself to be laid on the ground because he does not want to get in the back of the squad car. And you have Thomas Lane calling for an ambulance 36 seconds after that happens. Also some information that was kept from the public for so long.
We'll be right back with Liz Collin, producer of The Fall of Minneapolis. By the way, the website, thefallofminneapolis.com. This Christmas, there is a new film from director George Clooney. It's a rags to riches absolute crowd pleaser, and it's based on a #1 New York Times best-selling book. It's the inspirational true story about one of the most difficult sports in the world, rowing, and the 1936 University of Washington College rowing team that competed for gold at the Summer Games in Berlin. A very inspiring film. This is a team that rowed out of need to eat, need to sleep, and it gave them an edge that captures the power of working together to overcome all odds while rowing for America. They just don't make movies like this anymore. It's filled with wholesome content that makes it the ideal multi-generational movie for the holidays. Joel Edgerton and Callum Turner star in this exciting and incredible story of courage, hard work, and determination, showcasing America at its best. Believe in each other, believe in the impossible. The Boys in the Boat. That's the name of the movie. It opens Christmas Day in theaters only. Get tickets now. boysintheboatmovie.com.